Hello. Today's February 1st, 2024. We are already onto a new month this year. Crazy. Today, I wanted to talk about something that happened last night and then kind of just make it a bit broader, broaden it out, scope out the horizon, whatever you want to say. I was just scrolling Instagram Reels, having a laugh, having a good time. and, Instagram Reels has gained sort of this reputation for violent content like car crashes or, seeing some brutality. Let's just call it that. Don't need to go into too much of a vivid description of some of the things and horrors that I've seen on there. But it's also developed a reputation for like ruthless comment sections. Like, you will see a video of someone who is unfortunately disabled, and then some of the comments are just ripping them up. Or you'll see content that's like on TikTok, and then it's like, don't post this on Instagram Reels because you're gonna get destroyed. But this did not happen with Neil Davis. I believe is his name. Neil is a simple, hardworking man who rates his lunches just about every day. And he gives us the price, and he tells us what he thinks about the food that he's eating. And he does a good job of varying it up. And his reviews are actually really good. Like, most of their food reviews that I see on Instagram Reels, like the short form ones, are like, they eat the food and they're like, 8.2. And then they're like, I don't like it. Like, it's very, very surface, very shallow. And this isn't Neil. Like, yeah, the descriptions of the food are short, but they're good. I think he has a cool sense of humor and like humanity about him. He says about chicken samosa, he says, flaky, spicy, new addiction. Like, come on, that's class. And then in regards to water, he says too drippy, and he always rates it 7.0, or like, it moistens my mouth too much. Like, he's just a silly goose with water. I guess he doesn't really like water, but people have showed that they want to donate money to him for him to buy food or like get a new phone, because his phone quality isn't the greatest. It's not an iPhone, because the emojis are like, they're different, Here's a comment, an endearing comment that I kind of related to. One of those faces whose house you'd go to after school and play split-screen Nintendo games with. Like, Neil kind of just gives off this energy of home and just coziness. Something you look forward to. Like, and I like the comment too, because it hits at like Neil's like nerdiness, but in the most, in the most positive way that I can describe it. I don't know, I just stumbled across it, and I guess you just go to the comment section sometimes. Who knows what our brains are programmed to do anymore. But I went there, and they were all super positive, and like, people were acknowledging this too. They're saying things like, this is the chillest comment section on Instagram Reels, blah, blah, blah. I can only ascribe the love people have shown Neil to his authenticity. Like, he's just reviewing in the way that he wants to and knows how to, and you gotta love him for that. Like, most of this, like, he's not talking over it. He's just doing what Neil wants to do, and I think that's why people love him so much. Like, he's not trying to be anyone else, and it's pretty clear. You see, like, people like Baby Gronk, who, like, is it his fault that he is the way that he is? Probably not. I know that his dad is definitely, like, kind of weird. But, just people like this, who are clearly sellouts, or, they're sacrificing their authenticity for clout. Neil is not this guy. And that's really why I wanted to highlight this. Neil reminds me of Dostoevsky's Alyosha from Brothers Karamazov in some way. He's someone who knows that his actions have consequences for the whole world. In Brothers Karamazov, which I highly recommend if you've got the time and the patience for such a journey. But Alyosha's always just sort of bearing the burden of everyone else he comes into contact with, for better or worse. And like, because of this, Dostoevsky does a really good job of showing that the authentic life is challenging. Like, Alyosha gets into lots of trouble, but at the end of the book, not a spoiler, if you don't want to spoil, then fast forward a few seconds, but at the end of the book, Alyosha's happy in the most authentic way, where he knows that he's got no other option but to be authentic, even though there's something that would be devastating typically. It might seem zany, me saying all this, but think about it practically. How you act or the things that you say impact how people feel. It affects people. You know, like, if you're a jerk to someone, they're gonna feel negative, you know, like, I don't know, just think about it like an animation. You're screaming at someone and then, like, their little icon, their emoticon, switches from, like, content or happy to a frowny face, you know? And in the most practical way, it does make sense how we're all responsible for one another. You know, it's gonna, and then you take it to, like, the hippiness, the hippie extreme, and it's like, you know, we're all connected in one way or another. And there's more nuance to all of this within the context of Dostoevsky, but still, I think the point remains here. And, you know, I might be over intellectualizing Neil here, but, you know, he does have a spiritual grounding in Christianity, and that is one of the things that I can appreciate about Christianity, is that it definitely has an onus on responsibility for others. I don't know. It was just a good, wholesome internet thing that I found I wasn't aware of until last night, and I wanted to talk about it because, you know, spreading love is so powerful. And yes, it'd be wishful thinking to think that we could all get on the same page, you know, especially on a place like Reels. But the thing is, it happens. We momentarily remember things like empathy and things like this. It's like we remember, or sort of, I guess, implicitly, let me back up. It's almost like we implicitly have Kant's universalization downloaded into our minds. Like, we might not know objective morality, but you have to act on what would the world look like if everyone acted the way that you did. And, you know, it kind of just seems like there was a glimpse of that on Neil's page, which I love. I'm glad he was able to cultivate that, because I know some of the people, like, I genuinely didn't see any hate on Neil's page. It was awesome. And that's what I wanted to show today and talk about. In terms of my day, today I cleaned 2 relatively easy houses. Got some good halal food after, which where I live, we've got the best halal food I've ever had. Shout out to my friend Austin who put me on. But now I'm at the gym. It's chest day. I'll do some cardio too, if this halal food doesn't catch up to me. I'm kind of pushing the time, if you know what I mean. But yeah, after that I gotta go to this local Bay Area, a cool little small town, historic buildings, to take some pictures with my girlfriend for her class. And then after that, I got nothing going on the rest of the day, and I don't have anything going on tomorrow. I'm off on both jobs tomorrow, which is awesome. And oh yeah, the sun is also out today. Would you look at that? You gotta love it. It's kind of coincidental too, because I talked about it, I think, a few days ago. I was like, should I be taking vitamin D when it's gray like this? And I was like, I should, but I'm not. And then last night I took vitamin D. I finally did. And then today the sun's out. Just makes sense. School's starting next week, so it's definitely putting some unnecessary stress on my mind. I shouldn't really think about it, especially the first week. The first week's always relatively easy. There are some teachers, though, that are jerks. Anyways. Yeah, so tonight will probably be chill. I'll read. I'm still stuck on Invisible Man, I'll be honest. I haven't been good with reading. It is a bigger book and a complicated book, but I should have finished it by now. So I'll read tonight. I'll probably make some TikToks. And that's really all I'm going to lay out for myself, because I think I got to make it manageable. Like, you know, you cast your thoughts onto like the rest of the day or the next day, and you start giving yourself all these things to do. You got to make the list manageable, because if you don't make the list manageable, then you're going to feel like a failure because you didn't scratch everything off the list. Yeah, make the list manageable, and then if you can do extra stuff, then it becomes positive. Anyways, who am I? Am I wise? No, I'm just a guy, and I'm offering some things that have helped for me. Why do I always find the need to like justify what I say, but I don't need to. So yeah, today's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. As you go out and have fun this weekend, just be safe. And I love you all. Thank you so much for the support lately. I really appreciate it. And Ryan, if you're out there, thanks for your comment. Yeah, anyways, peace and love.